Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Cosmos Atom against the USDT. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now let's get straight into the charts. Now, taking a look at the daily chart, as you can see, slowly but surely we are making our way back down to this June 2022 low, and hopefully we're going to be able to retest that and have a nice move to the upside. And if you did buy in here back in 2022, this is going to be another great opportunity to top up your position and increase your staking pool, potentially, if you're staking your Cosmos coins like I am with the Kepler wallet. Now, zooming in a bit closer here, you can see that we are currently seeing a bit of a retracement in this local uptrend that we have started. As you can see, we bottomed out around September 12th, and then we started to move to the upside. We are failing to break above this August 30th resistance. As you can see, we wicked off the 55 EMA, and now we're pulling back down to the 20 EMA, and it looks like we are about to lose that. Now, in a healthy situation, we would see a bounce off the 20 EMA and a continuation of the trend. We would break this local high and potentially even break above this $7.92 resistance. Now, this is the top of the block. The bottom of the block here is at $7.36 based on these touches that we had back in 2022. And we lost this as support back in August, so potentially right now what is happening is that we're coming back up, back testing this as resistance, and we're moving back down, maybe with a lower low, hopefully not, but this looks like a nice V-shaped recovery. Hopefully with enough momentum and steam we can have a very strong move to the upside and we can break above some of these resistance levels that we have, but obviously we don't know what's going to be happening, so we have to be ready for both outcomes. A nice local support trend line you could set yourself up with is this level over here. We saw a bounce back in September, or at the start of September, I should say, and that's sitting at $6.67. And maybe we'll see another retest over here. So feel free to target that area. If not, you have this local low that you can be targeting for entries. Regardless of what happens over here, we are still very low because anything below $8, in my opinion, is a steal for Cosmos Atom. So I will be filling up my bags as much as I can, and my patrons will be advised with all of the buy alerts, of course. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Switching over to the weekly chart, you can see that slowly but surely we also made our way back down to the low here in June, and we had a perfect candle closure, slightly lower than this here, but for now this can be treated as a double bottom pattern. And what we need to do is we need to start making our way up above the 20 EMA and then continue breaking above the neckline that we have created here back in September last year, which is when we printed this massive move to the upside. As you can see, we went all the way up to $17. So that was an incredible opportunity for you to take profits and potentially sell, or potentially buy back in at a back test of a lower support, potentially the 20 EMA or something lower on the daily chart, or if you were simply entering here and selling here for short to mid-term profit, that was also a pretty good trade. But you can see we were in a symmetrical triangle, we lost that, and now we are headed back down, and hopefully we have printed our bottom. I don't really want to see a further dip below the June 2022 low. If that ends up happening, then potentially $5.55 is going to be your bottom. As you can see, we did have a lot of trading in this area back in 2020, right before we started pumping into January 2021. But one thing to notice is that Cosmos hasn't been through a proper bull market. We did launch back in April of 2019, but that is when things basically started bottoming out, and we had one last crash in March 2020 due to the COVID, obviously. But since then, we've been retracing, and just because the project was relatively new, I don't think it made as much gains as we are potentially going to make this time around. So from where we are right now to the all-time high, you're looking at 517%. We're potentially looking at $100 and that's going to be a 1,272% to the upside. Not bad at 13x, almost a 14x. I think that's pretty doable for Cosmos Atom, and considering what they're doing, it's possible we're going to go even higher. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not going to say we're going to be getting to $140, even though that is our technical target, or 140, yeah, 0.3. But depending on how they perform during the bull market, we could see a massive influx of people into the Cosmos ecosystem, and that would obviously create a lot of demand for the Cosmos coin. So let's see how things play out. Regardless, if we're selling at $100 or $140, buying in at $7 here is extremely cheap. That's something to keep in mind. And taking a look at the weekly RSI, you can see that we essentially almost got to the oversold here. So you can see we printed this bottom. This is a great entry point. We printed a similar bottom back in June last year. And you can see that we are breaking above this resistance trend line at 33.6, which is our support that we created back in March 2020 when we had the Corona dump. So I don't know how high we're going to be going with this local move to the upside. It is possible we're going to run into this resistance here, which is basically our last support that we had before we dumped. So this level here that we retested in June before we had a bit of a bounce, and then we dropped below. So that is a level you can target at the index of 37, and you also are building some sort of an ascending support trend line here. As you can see, we did see a bounce back in June 2022, and now we saw a bounce here in August 2023, and potentially this is some sort of a long-term pattern here that we have, and you're going to be getting into the apex of this pattern in early 2024. Hopefully in the first half we'll see a breakout, and then we can get into the bull market there. But that's a bullish scenario. Obviously that's what everyone is hoping for. We'll see how this FUD with the recession takes effect on crypto and how things play out. But we know where crypto is going long term, so let's not stay attached to these short-term news. Taking a look at the stochastic on the weekly, we are very oversold. We were sitting at the index of 2, and now we're moving back up to 17, 18, but we're still below the index of 20. So you are oversold on the stochastic, and keep in mind this is more of a short-term indicator. The RSI is more of a long-term oscillator. So this still is providing us with a good entry, just like we had a good entry back in May here. We were approximately around the bottom there at $8, and then the last time was back in November 2022. We were also sitting at around about $9, and of course back in June, May 2022 when we bottomed out at $5.70 or whatever it was. Taking a look at the MACD, you can see we printed our bearish cross back in April 2023. So that was a major indicator telling us that the continuation of the downtrend is what's probably going to be happening here. So if you took profits there before you broke down below this short-term support trend line that we had, then you could have potentially secured yourself with a 40% discount. But obviously you can't look into the future too much. You don't want to be risking a lot when you are close to the bear market bottom. So you played it safe. I played it safe. We just rode the wave down here. We are staking, so we're still making passive income. No worries there. And hopefully we'll get to the bull market and we'll be able to take profits at least at around about $100. We'll see how things go, and we'll take a look at Bitcoin at that time, and we'll see what the markets are going to be doing. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. Let me know what you think of Cosmos Atom. Do you have any coins right now? Are you planning to buy? And where do you see this project going into the bull market? Stay safe and have a great day.